Hey guys, welcome back to Note to Self, or as I like to call it, Azan's podcast. And today we're going to be talking to you about cultural stigmas.
Hi, sorry about that, but this is Aloni's Note to Self, and today's Note to Self is about cultural stigma. And my name is Caitlin.
My name is Clara.
My name is Donna.
My name is Pooh.
And so today I'm going to be your host, and I just really want to open up the conversation with by the way, we brought a bunch of cultural foods to the table. I brought bún bò Huế, which is a Vietnamese beef noodle soup. Do you guys want to?
Yeah, I brought the dessert. I have a bunch of Russian desserts and Jewish desserts as well.
I brought the drink. I brought horchata.
I bring the appetizer, the salad, which is we call like lapato. It is called like Burmese tea leaf salad.
So yummy. I am so excited. And before we dive into our drinks, I just want to ask, do you guys feel connected with your culture? Personally, I'll go first. Personally, I do feel connected with my culture because I'm Vietnamese, and I feel like California has a huge Vietnamese population. So even if you go to San Jose, there's a little spot that's called Little Saigon. And personally, when I go there, almost everyone can speak like fluent Vietnamese, and it just really feels as if I never truly left Vietnam, you know? And because of that, I feel very lucky to be able to be exposed to so much diversity and have this melting pot in California and especially the Bay Area. And I have never truly felt too disconnected from my culture, but I know as a Vietnamese American that comes with a lot of nuances, such as I would say I'm like 90% fluent in Vietnamese. Personally, I can't read it and I can't write it, but I can speak it, and I think I do pretty well. But since it's been a long time since I've been back to Vietnam, I feel that culture kind of disappearing in a sense, and me definitely assimilating way more to American culture. But I'm trying my best to kind of keep that connection within myself and trying to find new ways to feel, to find a new balance of being Vietnamese American in America.
Mm-hmm. Period. So I feel as a person with a very mixed background, like Russian, Ukrainian, Polish, with the overarching umbrella of Ashkenazi Jewish, which basically just means European Jewish. I've always felt like not Russian enough, not Jewish enough, not American enough in all of my different settings, like being very raised in America. I didn't have access to the genuine Russian upbringing, but also being raised in a Russian household in America, I feel like I didn't have the American upbringing. So I've always felt a little disconnected from both, but regardless, I have a lot of Russian Jewish people in the Bay Area, not in Fremont, but in the Bay Area somewhere, a little up north. So it's not far away. Yeah, still feel some connection.
For me, being Mexican, I mean, there's Mexican people everywhere, and there's a lot of restaurants, and there's definitely a lot of culture that's present, which is really nice. Once again, the language is very lively here, so there is no kind of loss with that. Although I would say my vocabulary is very little kid, 3rd grade kind of vocabulary. It's not very advanced, but I do speak it, I do write it, I do read it. I would say the thing is I never really fit into those stereotypes of liking música ranchera or liking those type of things that are kind of stereotypical with the community, which I always felt not only here sort of distances you, but also in Mexico, people expect you, and also knowing that you're from the United States, they already assume you're kind of whitewashed at that point. But personally, I think sometimes I just don't do enough to understand my culture, but I don't feel sort of disconnected. I think I would feel if I didn't speak Spanish, because I think Spanish is such a bridge to at least learning about it.
For me, I feel like over connecting with Burmese community because sometimes I feel like challenging to dilute with the American community. I don't know why. Maybe I'm too attached to my community. In Bay Area, the Burmese community is growing, so I can easily find a food, like a lot of Burmese restaurants in Bay Area. And also here at Ohlone, because of the country situation, a lot of Burmese students are studying at Ohlone. We also have the Burmese Student Association called BASAR, Ohlone BASAR. So whenever I go around the campus, I can hear like Burmese students talking, so feel like home. I don't feel like I'm in the United States. I feel like I'm in my hometown. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Is that there's so many cultures here.
The side eye was crazy.
That didn't happen. Anyways, thank you for sharing your experiences and how you feel about your connection to your culture. And with that, I would like to get into our first dish. I'm gonna say the drink.
Yeah.
We should start with the drink first. And our lovely Donna made it from scratch.
Hard labor.
Hard
labor of love.
Yeah. So should everybody
Labor
take
of love.
Wait, cheers.
Yeah.
y'all.
Oh, cheers. Ooh.
Cheers
be careful.
to the mukbang. Cheers.
Cheers. Like so lightly.
Mm.
I said we were drinking horchata, right?
Mm.
Horchata, yeah.
Okay.
Horchata?
I'm sorry.
Horchata.
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 Less on the H.
Or.
Horchata. Horchata.
Oh,
I love
Yeah.
chata.
I think sometimes restaurants get it too sweet. That's why I don't like getting it.
I
That's really
love
yummy.
how it's not too sweet.
I know.
It's
Yeah, some
so
restaurants
good,
do make it too
huh?
sweet, and then it just feels.
It's too like much.
Yeah. That's really yummy.
Almond
Mm.
mom win.
Mm.
Do you want to talk about
So
their
good.
ingredients or how you made it?
Oh,
or anything?
yeah. So you have to, okay. Little sidebar. So it's supposed to be like, basically I call it as a joke like rice milk, because it basically is rice milk. So you get rice and you have to let it sit for not a couple hours. I would say like maybe 5 hours at the latest or the least in water. And then you blend that. But I didn't have rice. So I did oats.
Really?
Yeah, so I did oats, and I let the oats sit
That's
for
so
like maybe 3 hours because oats are softer, so like they absorb water faster.
Mm-hmm.
So I put that in the blender for alone, just water and the oats, and then of course I strained it because it has like the extract. And oh my gosh, and you have to put a cinnamon stick. That's why there's like little things floating at the top. And then you strain it, and then I did it again. I did like 3 times, straining it, which was the hard part. It was like annoying waiting for it to go down. And then you add cream, heavy cream, and you add, oh my gosh, dulce de leche, which is like really good. And I think it's just a lot with Mexican recipes, you just wing it. Like you literally like whatever feels right, you know? Like you just put as much as it feels right. I did use the whole can of the heavy cream, and I used like maybe 4 spoons of like the lechera. And then I mixed it again, strained it of course, and yeah.
Yay! It tastes so good.
So yummy.
Thank you.
Who in the meantime, will we get to the next question? Do you want to like mix it or serve it or anything, or how should we do it?
You're
yeah.
the boss.
I don't know.
Should we just serve it ourselves?
Yeah.
later? Okay.
You can just
I'll ask.
Maybe we pass it around while
yeah.
we answer
Pass it
questions.
around and take it
You
to
go
the.
left.
No, you go first
Yeah.
Okay.
So
because I already eat a lot usually.
I really want to go into our intersectionality. Again, I'm Vietnamese American. I'm a second generation immigrant. Do you guys want to talk about are all of us either first gen or second gen immigrants?
First gen.
First gen for you?
First gen?
First gen.
First
yeah,
gen?
Like
Yeah.
your parents were born there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
first gen. That's what it means.
Wait,
First gen. Yeah.
first gen is like you immigrate. Second gen is your parents immigrate and you're born in.
Oh, I
a
thought
different-
that I
different-
was a first gen because I'm the first person to be born in America.
No, I searched it up. That's why I thought.
can we
for the
clarify
longest
that?
time,
There's
okay.
different. I think there's
There's
different
different
definitions.
definitions for
Okay.
sure.
Because
Like the one on the UC application for scholarships is different.
Yeah, first gen is when you're like the first one doing it. You know, because you're a first generation college student, so
A
like you're the first
person
one.
who is a first generation immigrant is defined as one who is born outside of the United States.
Oh.
Really?
I've been saying I'm first gen.
Me
I know. I
too.
said like I was first gen for so many years, and then
We
I
should
don't know.
define that in the podcast.
Maybe we
as
should
what,
just do
as
it.
what we're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so
This
do
is
we
so
agree that
slay.
first gen is like a person who's born outside the U.S. and then comes
So then
to
we're
US?
second.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Let's
we're
just say
second.
that in the podcast because I
Okay,
don't think everybody's gonna. Thank you. Here you go.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Maybe just do it and then you ask the question.
Okay, this is so.
Oh, I mixed mine up. You didn't mix yours up.
Should we mix it up? Yeah.
This is salad, right?
Yeah.
I'm so
I love
excited.
Basically,
Salad.
we put like fish sauce and oil, but today I didn't bring it.
It's okay.
There is salt here, but I mean,
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
it'll
like
be-
olive oil? You put like olive oil?
Yeah.
I love olive oil.
Is this
Ugh.
my
I'll
spoon?
lather everything.
This
No.
is my spoon.
No.
You can use a.
Can I get a spoon?
Too, baby. There's one on your plate. Spoon?
You're so smart.
I either
Let me cut that all out.
Don't try it yet. Don't try it yet, y'all.
Okay. So I just want to talk about the conversation with first generation and second generation immigration. I searched it up, and according to the Immigration Initiative at Harvard, a person who is a first generation immigrant is defined as one who is born outside of the United States, while second gen immigration would be that you were born in the United States, but your parents are born outside of the United States or any other country, but in our context, United States. And so, yes, I am a second generation immigrant. My parents are from Vietnam, and they immigrated to America around the 1980s, and they both left because the Vietnam War just ended, and that's when the United States opened up their borders, so they both just wanted this journey for them and their family. And yeah, it was a very harrowing journey for them, and I'm very proud of them for doing that because I think immigrating is really hard. And yeah, so they moved to Maryland in the 1980s and then moved to California around like 1990s, a little bit before that. And yeah, and I grew up my whole life in the Bay Area, and it has been a very fun journey, I would say, with our diversity. I think I'm very lucky to be in California. What else I was going to say? Yeah, I just wanted to share our stories of either immigration or if your parents immigrated or anything. I think that's a interesting story.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am also a second generation, but I would say half second because my mom was born in Berkeley, California, but my dad was born in Russia. He was born in St. Petersburg and immigrated with his mom, my babula, and his sister, my tyotia, which is aunt in Russian. They immigrated in the 1990s when my dad was about 20 years old. They immigrated because being Jewish was heavily scrutinized in Russia, and my family faced a lot of discrimination and hardships with getting internships, certain jobs because of their religion. Also, to preface, being Jewish is an ethnicity and a religion. It's the only religion that you can also be ethnically that thing. So when, not anymore in Russia, but when my grandma was growing up, on her passport, it would say that she was Jewish, so whenever she was applying for a job, she would get shut down because it would be on her passport. So that discrimination was lingering, it didn't go away, as well as Soviet Union communistic principles. And essentially, my dad and my Russian family escaped Russia and were sponsored to be able to immigrate out. And they moved to Hayward, California when they arrived, and now live in Newark. So we're right around the corner from Fremont.
Mine is like kind of interesting because my grandfather, he came to the United States when he was, well, I don't know the age, but it was during 1970s, and he went to Arizona because his sister and her husband lived there. And then my sister, when she was around like 18-ish, she came to Fremont. She would actually like go to like what's it called, San Diego. Like she would always go to San Diego and like hang out. And then one day she was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to move, and she went and moved here actually. And then my sister was like, you know, you should come to my mom. She told my mom, you should come, and there's a lot more opportunities. And so my mom did, and I'm actually like the product of like a really late, like my mom was really late when she had me. So my mom decided to come here for like, I don't know, better opportunities, better, maybe, I don't really know like why per se, because she didn't really have like any hardships like a lot of you guys were mentioning. I think it was just a change of scenery and maybe new opportunities that might not have been available in Mexico.
Oh, I'm not immigration, so I'm an international student here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
So,
Would you like to talk about that journey still?
Oh, the journey. My journey as an international student?
Yeah.
like, why you came to the United States?
I think US has the best opportunity, especially for me. As you all know, like I'm majoring in environmental engineering. I try to look for like UK, but their major mostly focus on like advocacy. But I'm not, as an introvert, like I'm not like really into advocacy. So US focus on like engineering and innovation, something like that. So that makes me come here, like especially California. So that is one of the things. And also US has, I have a dream to have a job here as well. And the past connection that I joined the exchange program in Hawaii, and I was expecting, like I already built connection there, so that makes me come to the United States. And also I have some relatives here, so yeah, I want to see like I want to go for US, like even though like it's really struggling after 10 years, I'm expecting myself like to another level. Just yeah, that's my expectation, and that makes me come to the United States. Yeah.
Thank
It's
you
kind of
for
crazy to think
sharing.
about. You could have been in the UK.
Yeah.
Instead of here.
I'm regretting right now. Just kidding.
She could have been with the Brits.
I mean, valid. It's Fremont, California.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing, everyone. So I would like to get into our appetizer. Who would you like to explain?
Oh yeah. So that the Burmese tea leaf salad.
Oh, we can do a little. Oh, and for the listeners, we're putting up the.
Go on YouTube if you want to see.
Yeah,
Go on
go
YouTube.
on our YouTube to see the food. It'd be so real.
They're like, I'm
Yeah.
not doing all that.
Okay.
Oh, I was gonna
Yes.
eat. I was gonna eat.
Go ahead, go
So
ahead.
the main thing is like Burmese tea leaf, right there, like the green color. It's a little bit dark right now. I don't know why. We have like fried beans. It's like peanuts and fried garlic, right there. And we have tomato. And we usually put like cabbage and
Okay.
I don't know. There's some salad into it, and we put more oil and like fish salt. We use the fish salts and
That's really
peas
good.
powder, something like that. So we mix it actually. I want to show you all like the actual picture.
this-
Today I
It's
didn't
surprisingly
prepare.
like spicy.
Spicy.
Yeah, it's spicy because I ordered the spicy one because I usually eat together with rice.
No, it's good. It's good.
So the actual picture is like that. Like we mix all together, but today I didn't mix it. And we also eat separately like this. Whenever, like for example, some guests come to our home, we welcome the guests with the Burmese tea leaf salad and hot tea, and yeah, it's our kind of the tradition.
It's really good.
So yummy.
So good.
Oh, can I stand up?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can tell.
Sorry.
You're not bound.
Free will.
I'm like, watch me finish this.
This is so good.
Dude, I'm gonna finish it.
It's like so refreshing.
I like the crunch.
Mm-hmm.
And then the spice, it's like, ooh.
There's more.
Yeah.
Caitlin, can you hand to Larissa? I haven't touched it.
That's so
So
good.
good.
It's spicy, but it's good.
And what's the spicy? Is it the green stuff or the
The leaf?
Tea leaf, yeah.
It's a tea
Green
leaves
stuff,
that
yeah,
are
yeah.
really.
We also have no spicy as well.
That's really good.
I really love Burmese tea salad. Thank you for
Yummy.
making it.
Thank you for so
Yeah,
good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mm.
So
I'm not finished it.
you got things like comparison behind the camera. Okay. I'm gonna go into. Do you guys ever fear? You guys have to be so for real if I have something in my teeth, okay?
You don't. But you didn't even show the top teeth.
I'm kind of shy. Don't be shy.
If you want us to be real, you gotta show it.
I good?
Guys, cut this out.
Cut the camera.
This is girlhood.
Sorry, give me a second.
Good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Did I finish it?
So
ate.
good, right?
Wait.
She ate.
Okay. So I just wanted to go into another question of if you guys ever have fears that your culture is going to disappear, like either on a personal level, like with your own children, if you ever, decide if you're gonna have kids, or just, the younger generation as a community. Personally, I think I get very scared about, like, my future, like, is it?
The generation?
Yeah, if my future generation will be able to keep, the Vietnamese culture as alive as it is right now, because personally for me, I'm just so lucky that I live near such big Vietnamese communities, but I know that's not a reality for some people or for myself in the future. And then I think sometimes I do get really sad thinking about it, because America is such a melting pot, but at the same time, with that melting pot, that means cultures kind of get, I guess, diluted in a sense, just because there is also an American culture. And I think that's beautiful, but I also think it's, hard to think about, because even with me, I am not, some of my culture is already kind of erased. I don't really know how to read Vietnamese. I don't know how to write it. And there's a big aspect of my identity where I am much more American than Vietnamese, which I think there's nothing wrong with that. I just think sometimes it's hard to think about how over time it's going to take a lot more work to keep your culture than to forget it.
Yeah, no, so valid. I also feel nervous for the future of my generations, because although I am proud of being Russian, I think with the changing political climates, there's a lot of things to be, I don't want to say embarrassed of, but a lot of sensitivities. And I'm Jewish and Russian, and as we all know, the world is just going through a lot of things right now, and every part of my identity is being questioned, and I don't know what's going to happen in the future, so I do fear the future of my cultural identity. And in terms of my language, I do speak Russian. I wish I spoke Hebrew, but I was not taught that. I want to learn. But with Russian, I went to a Russian preschool, and I speak Russian at home, but it's not perfect. If you didn't grow up in Russia, you don't know the slang. It's hard to have perfect Russian. And my writing is not good. My reading is okay, but yeah, I'm scared that my kids won't want to learn.
That's so real that you talked about the slang, because I feel with my generation of Vietnamese kids who either grew up or were born in America or any other country that is outside of Vietnam, they speak in a different way. They speak definitely either more formal because they learned it from their parents. It is not the same
100%.
as sometimes I go on TikTok or other forms of social media, and Vietnamese people are talking, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
have no idea what you're saying.
That happens to me
Because
too,
the
yeah.
slang is so.
They talk so fast. Too.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
talk so fast. The slang is so new, and I find that also really interesting, because there's definitely different forms of our languages or cultures because those cultures are in different.
Yeah, they're more
nations.
concentrated.
Yeah, Russian influencers on social media. There's every country there's the comedy influencers. I do not get the joke.
Oh, you don't
When
get
it's
the
in-
funniness?
I mean, sometimes I do, but I have to watch it 1 or 2 times to really understand the essence of it. But it does make me nervous for the future, because I will force my children to take Russian lessons. If my future kids see this,
We're
I'm
"No,
not
Mom."
sorry. I will make them learn, and I want to speak with them at home. But then again, what if I marry somebody that's not Russian or Jewish?
Yeah, possibilities high.
Yeah, for real.
Right.
Do y'all know another Russian Jew? No.
Dating show.
Literally. Stop. The Bachelorette?
Oh.
Anyways.
For me, I think it is a fear for sure. especially because like how do you do it, right? Like you obviously you can speak as much as you can at home and you can give them that kind of guidance, but at school it's 100% English, 100% American history. Go to the radio, English songs, watch TV, English, like everything's English. So I think it would be really, really hard, or you would really have to apply yourself to make sure your kid understands and really also feels connected and wants to be connected to it. And I think one thing that I'm really happy my mom did is that it's 100% Spanish in my house. Like we watch Spanish TV and she speaks Spanish. So at school I would get that English element because of course they teach you English and they teach you grammar. But at home my mom was very much Spanish, and I took Spanish in high school too. So there was reinforcements, but still, as you guys mentioned, in Spanish there is acentos in a lot of the words, like how in Russian there's like little dots or like there's little like
Accents?
yeah. I don't know where those go. Like when I'm writing in Spanish, I don't know. So there are things that I'm not 100% sure about. And also it's such a privilege to be like, oh, I'm gonna get my kid a tutor. Like a lot of people don't have the money or the time to take their kids to get tutored. So I think it's definitely a fear, but we shall see.
I think I also have some kind of fear, but I don't know, like at my uncle house. So they are the first one. I don't know. He may be the first generation because he moved to the United States first. So their kids, they don't know how to speak in Burmese. Even though like some of the kids they grown up in Burma, so they don't like in Myanmar, like we have a lot of religious things because we are Buddhists. They are no longer interested in the religious things as well. So some kind of maybe fear. I'm not sure, but looking at them, seeing they are more American, but no longer Burmese. But at the same time, they also don't feel like 100% American here in Bay Area. So I can see the struggles, and that give me some fear too.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. Like I feel like there's a lot of kids now who grew up and like their parents didn't really enforce it, but then they want to learn. But then there's that stigma from their own community where it's like you don't know anything, like you can't even call yourself. Like there's like this, I don't know if it's a trend or a thing going on where like kids of Latino parents who don't know Spanish, they're no sabo kids. Like so you get bullied for not knowing Spanish, but at the same time you're not helping them learn Spanish. So it's like you're kind of creating this barrier for them when they are actually trying to learn.
Yeah. I met somebody online, like I was playing a game with them, and then my friend was also there, and then we kind of connected that we were both Vietnamese, and then she was like, oh, do you speak it? And I was like, oh yeah, I do. And then she kind of just put it out. Like she said, oh, people who don't speak their own language or their own native language, and I just think that is really a toxic environment to put onto other people, because even when kids who don't speak it, that just knowing a language does not define how connected you are to your culture. There's so many other aspects and parts and factors that create that identity to you. Like you don't know if they're actually trying to learn about their culture, it's just all so different. And I don't really like that those statements that are used to kind of judge people, because I feel bad, because honestly it's not the kids' fault that they grew up in an area outside of their home country or whatever, and it's truly, not to say not a big deal, but it's truly not a mortal flaw to not know your own native language,
Also some people look what they are, so it's kind of like you're erasing their identity, because if you look at for example, if you look at me, you probably think I'm Mexican, to tell me oh, you're not Mexican enough. It's like, well, I look in the mirror every day and I see that I'm Mexican enough, right? So it's kind of it's weird.
Yeah, it for sure is weird.
Maybe this is too niche also, but I am scared to send my kids to Russian preschool, because when I went to Russian preschool, the Russian woman that was running the preschool, like, they would punish kids like they would punish kids in Russia.
Oh.
And I don't want to subject my children to that. Like, they have this thing where, like, if you didn't nap or whatever, they would rub, like, hot pepper on your mouth.
Oh.
If you,
That's
like, didn't nap.
torture.
That's so mean.
But it's, like, it's Russian. I mean, I can't hate. Like, if y'all know, like, you know, Russian gymnasts, like, how they'll push you to the level you don't think you can go to, but then they end up being, like, the best gymnasts, you know?
Yeah.
So, it's a special way that's not American, and I don't want to subject my kids to that, but that's just, like, in my head. Like, I want them to learn, but where is there going to be a healthy environment for that to happen? Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel like our generation, we're gonna have these like new professions or like new places where you learn about different cultures. Because like for Vietnamese people, they've only began coming to America in like the 1980s. So this generation is where, you know, those immigrants' children are gonna be growing up, and I find that to be interesting. Like, I wonder what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing. We're gonna go into our main course.
Yeah.
And it is something I brought, and it's Vietnamese. And I said it earlier, it's called bún bò Huế, and it's a Vietnamese noodle soup that is beef-based. And it's probably kind of cold right now. So sorry.
It's kind of warm.
Smells really good.
Oh, it's still kind of warm?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad. Try it.
Wait, can someone teach me like chopstick method? Cause I know, but like I never know how to do it right.
Like,
There's like no right way.
there's it?
Not truly, if you like just do it. But I would say hold it like how you hold a pencil.
Well, how I hold the pencil is like this, but how do I move the other one?
Okay, that's
I
kind of
put
hard.
my middle, I do it like, I'll put like my middle finger in the middle, my pointer on the top,
Yeah,
and then
me
my
too.
thumb on the bottom.
Hold on a sec.
Me too.
And you just like use the little motherfucker.
Like this?
Yes!
like
Wait,
that.
okay, quick learner.
That was good.
That was good.
That was really
good
good.
job, Anna.
Thank
I
you.
hope it's
Thank
good.
you. We're learning. We're
This is
learning.
my favorite Vit dish ever.
Can you describe what's
I
in
love
it?
the spice too.
Yeah, it's a
Let's
little
go.
spicy.
Is this the like sausage?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was tofu at
like-
first.
Mmm.
I'm pretty sure it's pork. It's like a pork meatball kind of sausage. It's pretty yummy.
Wow.
No, I'm so
For the
uncoordinated.
listeners, yes, I know that Jews are not supposed to eat pork. Do not tell my mom.
I could be so wrong about it being pork too.
It's so good. I don't care.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And I did not make this. I bought it, so I have no instructions on how to make this.
It's so good.
I mean, you can say where you got it.
I got it from
You know
Pho
what?
Mama on Dakota Road, I'm pretty sure, in Union City.
I'm giving up.
Free shout out.
Mm.
Yeah. Do you guys
These
like
hands
it?
weren't
Definitely
made for
covered
chopsticks.
in it. Ooh,
This is so good. I'm dead.
it's so good. I'm dead and revived at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Revival era.
Revival.
So yummy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
I was like, I didn't want to bring pho because I feel like everybody knows what that tastes like.
What was it called?
This one?
Yes.
It's called Bún bò Huế.
Bún bò Huế.
You kind of ate.
Oompa way?
Yeah,
Bún bò
like
Huế.
H-U-A.
Huế.
H-U-E, sorry.
Huế. Huế.
Or can you guys put like the names, like how to spell it in the chat?
Yeah.
Drop it in the chat.
Yeah.
Chat,
we'll
is this
drop
real?
it. Stop.
Yeah, just put it in the chat because yours, I like yours
So
too, but I
good.
don't know how to spell the name, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cause I'll make it for sure again.
So far.
No misses yet.
Not a single miss. The pressure is getting higher.
No, your
The
dessert looks so
pressure is
good.
getting worse. I'm gonna like.
Can't handle the pressure of it.
I'm gonna. Can I put like stack these?
Mhm.
Thank you. I can't handle the pressure of it. Oh my gosh, America's Next Top Model.
She was there for like 3 seconds.
And then
me too.
Tara was like, you know, aren't there gonna be things that are hard in life?
And she just walked out.
away. Me.
And I would do it too.
And you would do it too for a check.
Yeah.
I was an employee.
Okay.
You are now
So-
Momo.
I'm gonna move on to the next question, but I'm probably gonna continue eating in the meantime. So sorry. I'm so sorry. Our mouth sounds are so gross. I don't really think you'll catch it, to be honest. But so we're gonna kind of connect our culture with mental health, and we're gonna go into how does your culture view mental health. And I can't really speak for all Vietnamese people, obviously, but I think, especially my parents' generation, or at least I can speak from my parents' perspective, because I'm not going to speak for everyone, but definitely my parents don't really believe in mental health. They She was
Sorry.
shocked.
It ate too hard.
She was shocked.
For real.
They definitely believe like, oh, everybody goes through hardships, but just hashtag get over it is their like motto, and that is not a realistic or healthy motto to live through life. And there was probably no discussion of mental health when they were growing up. I doubt that was even a vocabulary. I wouldn't even know the vocabulary in Vietnamese right now. It's just like, oh, you just need to get over it, or people have been through worse.
Literally.
And then my mom, when I was growing up, and if I was crying or something over something like, quote unquote, silly to her, she would be like, oh, do you want something to cry about?
I'll show you
That's
something to cry
universal.
about.
My mom said that
Yeah.
too.
Literally.
I feel like that's a very
I heard
like
that.
past
Mom
generation
behavior.
thing. Yeah,
Oh.
past generation, mom
Yeah.
behavior thing.
For me, it's dad behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
He transcends.
One of them.
one of
behavior.
them's gonna say it. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, definitely, at least from my parents' perspective, they do not believe in mental health.
Yeah. So I don't want to speak for every single Russian person. And I know that I've been focusing on Russian here. I do think that I was raised much more Russian. For me, my Judaism was more of a religious thing. My mom's family is mostly American, so mental health always has been a generally open conversation. But I was raised as a divorced kid, so going back and forth to my parents' house, often spending a lot of time at one parent's house versus the other. I did kind of have like very opposing situations, but anyways, I digress. For my Russian side, the reaction is always, you're not in the Soviet Union, so stop complaining.
Whoa.
Like, you're not in the worst case scenario, so there's nothing to be worried about. Like, my dad's like, I immigrated, I went through all of this for you to complain. Like, what are you doing here? And I get it, I understand it, but again, not healthy and not realistic, and it just drives a divide between you and getting the help that you need. I do distinctly remember I was at the doctor's one day, and if anybody else has Kaiser insurance, you know that they'll do like a questionnaire.
Mine does it too. No, Kaiser.
Any insurance that does a health questionnaire for mental health. I was basically that day I had been told by the doctor that I have depression. And my dad was there, and usually I don't go with my dad to the doctor for this reason, but when the doctor told him, because I wasn't 18, my dad said, no, she doesn't. Like, no, she does not. Like, no child of mine is gonna have depression. And it's sad, because seeing my father, who I know is struggling with his mental health, and he could benefit from support, and has been therapy resistant his entire life, like, would never go to therapy. Like, it's really sad, because I know that we could connect on a deeper level if he acknowledged his struggles, but at the same time, we have to honor that our parents who are immigrants come from a whole different world, and my dad's dad did not know what mental health was. So, yeah, it's interesting, but
Mine's kind of a little different. My mom, okay, so when I was little, my mom actually took me to therapy. I think I was, maybe like 9. And I really liked it. It was because I was a minor. It was more like play therapy, which I loved, which is what kind of drove me to want to become a child psychologist. Just that kind of experience of not really saying words, but the doctor knowing what I meant was so powerful. And I went once, and it was really good. And then I went another time because my mom said I was too shy, so she said like she needs it. And then I went I think I went 3 times, which is crazy because it really helped, and it was just such a short amount of time too. But the funny thing is, my mom was open to me getting it. But whenever I would tell her like you should look into it, she'd be like, no, like why the hell would I need that? Like, why would I need that? And it was actually a similar experience to yours with the doctor. You know when they tell your parents to step out the room, right? Because they want to ask you stuff.
Right.
I told the doctor, I was like, oh, I think we should really look into family therapy. I would really like just me and my mom to sit down and have like kind of buffer of the extra person to mediate mediate?
No.
Okay.
Yep.
Mediate the conversation. And the doctor's like, okay. Like, I'm so sorry. She was like, okay. And she came back and she told my mom, she was like, oh, Donna was saying that it would be really beneficial if you guys did family therapy. And my mom like took it so offensive. She was so offended that I said that. And I actually kind of took a little bit of resentment because she made me out to look like an idiot. Like, oh, you know, she's just being a teenager. Like, she's just rebelling. Like, she does, every time I tell her, like, do the dishes, she doesn't want to. And it wasn't because of dishes.
Yeah.
Like those are dumb moments. Those are, like, dumb moments. Like, I'll do the dishes. Like, it's for other stuff that maybe for her it's not as obvious. And the doctor literally gave me, like a scolding, basically. She was like, you shouldn't be lying about this stuff. And I'm like, you're fired. But, but yeah, that was kind of, I don't understand it, because she's open to me getting help and, like, being okay, but she's not for herself. And I don't get that. Like, that's so, I mean, it's good as, a parent's perspective, but it's so backwards. I don't know. I shall know one day.
I think it's because sometimes it is easy to
give help,
recognize ourselves, like we need that help from maybe counselors.
Yeah.
But she exactly knows she might need help, but she just want to not admit.
I tell her you need help, but she's like, no.
Yeah.
And I think it's mostly because you don't want to be labeled as like crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely a thing in like Hispanic culture is like if you go to therapy you're crazy.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with you.
No,
Yeah.
literally.
No, same for Vietnamese culture. I had a family friend who came to America to get therapy, and my parents were like, I think he's crazy.
Oh, literally. And you could just be going to, like, talk about being sad.
Yeah.
Literally.
You're crazy.
No, literally, it's like so evident that, you know, it's so evident that sometimes they need that help, but I think I agree with what Pooh said, that it's harder to recognize that you need help compared to somebody else who needs help.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, Pooh, would you like to add anything else, or?
We also have like our culture. I think the worst, like about the awareness about the mental health. Still, the political situation is still ongoing. A lot of people need help regarding the mental health support, but we don't have any professionals, and the government is not supporting. And also, people don't have that kind of awareness. They don't think mental health is really important. Even my parents and my relatives. And one surprise thing is like when I come to the Ohlone College and I need the mental health support, and so I talked to my uncle. I would talk with the counselors next week, and he kind of like mocked that situation, like getting the help from the counselor. Even though like it's been 20 years, he migrated to the United States, settling. But I was surprised why his opinion is not changed, even though like he's growing up here. Why? And yeah. And I think we need to do a lot especially for my Burmese community to raise awareness about mental health.
Thank you for sharing, Pooh. Yeah, I think the first step to any problem or any step to any solution is recognizing that there is a problem. So I think we did that. Unfortunately, we are on a time crunch, so I'm gonna give it to Clara to introduce all of the desserts.
Dessert
she
time. So
She
I'm
prepared
gonna
for
do. I did not prepare. I bought
Yeah.
by the local Russian supermarket that's actually in Newark. It's like Ballantyne Plaza if y'all are interested. But anyways, we're gonna do one at a time. Y'all can eat it while I am talking about it.
Which one do you
Let's
wanna do
start
first?
with the swirly one first.
This was really good.
So that one is in
Oh my God,
English.
this-
It's called a poppy seed Danish, but in Russian it's called
staring
bulichka s makom. So makom or maca is poppy seeds. She's quite good. And just to like preface, all of these sweets shall be eaten with tea. Russian people do not eat sugar without tea. Like,
I gotta dip
generally.
it. I gotta dip it.
Yeah, do your thing. Because like, it might be a little dry, but when you have like chai, which is tea in Russian, then it's giving what needs to be gave.
If you dip it, it eats.
But this is good.
Mm-hmm.
Never had it from this store. What's the vibe?
Dipping it
Are
tastes
we
better.
enjoying it?
Really yummy, yeah.
Yeah? It's really good. My piece is like juicy. Is yours dry?
No, it just tastes better when I dip it.
Okay.
What's the next
We
one?
have our
Is it
first
We're combining
comment.
cultures.
The bean,
We're combining
I'm just kidding,
cultures.
I'm just kidding.
the black one is the bean.
That's a poppy seed.
Oh,
It's
Yeah.
really good though.
It is really good.
It's
It's
really
interesting. I've never had anything from this particular place, but that is the bulichka s makom. And the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna try this eclair looking situation.
I'm so excited.
Never had this before, but it was just so appealing. So this one's called Nastoящий заваренный крем.
You can read that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it looks like gibberish to me.
It really does. So, in my interpretation, it's just custard filled with some chocolate on the top, like an eclair moment.
Wait,
Mmm.
this is so
Is
good.
it good?
Oh my god, so good.
Mm-hmm.
Mmm.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Mmm.
It
That's
is like-
good.
It's like an eclair,
Mm-hmm.
but
Better.
the inside, instead of like being
Yeah, better.
very creamy, this one's very
And
custard.
And it's not overpowering either.
Yeah,
like the
it's
Yeah.
sweetness.
really good.
That's
I
like
it more
one
than
thing
eclairs.
about Russian sweets. They don't have a lot of sugar because Russian people, we just don't. Like, I don't like white chocolate, milk chocolate. I only eat dark because that's just how I was raised. Like, that milk chocolate's too much sugar. But anyways, so that is sweet number 2.
Really good.
And number 3, this is actually halva, which is from my Jewish heritage side. This is kosher, which if y'all do not know, it's like one of the certifications for Jewish blessed by the rabbi food, like halal.
Mine broke.
But it is crumbly. I will say I did try it. It is much sweeter than any halva I've ever had.
Bro, this is like masapan.
Do you like it?
Yeah. It's like
It's
masapan.
really sweet. It's a little sweet for me, but it's sesame halva with pistachio. It is
I can taste the pistachio.
really, really good. I've always enjoyed it. It is very Mediterranean, Middle Eastern. A lot of like Jewish foods are just Mediterranean, but this is halva.
It slaps.
What's the vibe?
I like
You
it.
like it?
It reminds me of masapan, like I said.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And then the last one that we have, okay, this is one that I'm so excited about. So I don't know if y'all have seen like anything being wrapped like this. This is like the traditional way that Russian candies are wrapped. And on the front of this one is a squirrel holding a little nut. So what this is called is a bielichka, which that's squirrel in Russian. Bielichka. And in Russian culture, like squirrels are like a big part of cartoons, and they're like a big part of Russian culture, because Russia's very like wintry, colder, like hardier culture per se. So bielichkas, little squirrels, are the thing.
This is
And
babishka.
bielichka.
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 Good job. So on the front it says много орехов, which just means a lot of nuts. You know,
Ooh.
because squirrels like nuts. There's hazelnuts in here. And the company these are from, if I'm not mistaken, is Babayevsky. Shout out to them for these. I've never tried these before, but I saw these like at the Russian store, and I'm intrigued.
It tastes like a
don't
mix
know
of
how to
dark
describe it.
chocolate with milk chocolate, kind of.
It's more dark for sure.
Yeah, more dark, but very airy. Like when you bite into it, it's not really crunchy. It kind of just breaks off right away. It's really interesting.
Like a Milky Way kind of?
Yeah.
Like the middle of a Milky Way.
This is very Russian, yeah.
Wait, what was your guys' favorite?
Cheese giving.
Out of all the foods?
Yeah, no, out of all like the desserts.
The
I gotta say
desserts.
the eclair.
Same.
I'm sorry, it's not an eclair, but it looks like one.
I like this
and
one.
I can't pronounce what she
That
said.
one?
I like this one, but dipped.
Yes, yeah.
I really like.
So we have a fan of the bulichka. I think that the bielichkas, the little confetes, this is just like a confeta. That's like candy in Russian, confeta.
Confeta.
These are like sweeter than I've had. I feel like Russian stuff she's getting too Americanized. No offense.
It's just the little village you went.
It is made in Russia, but if y'all ever go to the Russian store, I cannot stress this enough. Get I don't remember what they're called. There's like these little like baby dolls on a candy. I think they're called like Mashachkas or something, like Masha. And they are the best, the most like authentic Russian candy you can get. But I'm glad y'all could try the assortment.
Yay!
Yay!
Okay, we will wrap it up now. Thank you so much for joining us on our cultural stigma episode and as well as our little mukbang. Yay!
Thank you.
Bye.